Magazine.
Hello once again, I'm Doc Rotten, and this is Gruesome Magazine, where we review the very latest in streaming and video on-demand horror movies. Each week, my co-hosts Jeff Mohr, Crystal Cleveland, and Dave Dreyer, and I will take a look at various spooky, scary, and gory genre offerings. Tonight, we are reviewing Dead and Beautiful, streaming on SHUDDER. This is a unique vampire tale. Let's just put that out there right now. But before we get into things, let me introduce the crew, starting off with Jeff Mohr. Jeff, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing excellent. Cruising on up to Halloween here.
Yes, you are. We're recording this as Halloween is approaching. You are watching it after Halloween has passed. A sad thing. Because
is it really? This isn't gonna come out till next week.
Won't be
Oh
passed.
yeah.
Halloween never passes.
Oh God.
it just gets farther away. Oh my. All right.
Every day is Halloween.
Am I the only one that has like post-Halloween syndrome? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Also joining us is Crystal Cleveland, the living dead girl. How you doing?
I'm great. Now I
You're
feel like I should put my pumpkin away and
no!
my scarf. I'm like, oh, oopsies. I'm a little early, but that's okay.
No, we still have time. All right, what we're going to do tonight is we're going to get into Dead and Beautiful. We're going to start off giving our first impressions. That will be spoiler-free. Then we're going to get into a real discussion about the film where we will get into spoilers and details and all that goodness. And then we'll wrap things up with our final thoughts, our score, a 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. But before we do, as always, we hope you enjoy not only this review, but many others we have on the site. Check them out. And if you want to help us out, it's easy and free to do. Hit the subscribe button down below, hit the like button, or share with a friend.
Yep.
It all does wonders, and we appreciate it greatly. Of course, more than anything, we want you to let us know what you think in the comments down below. We've been getting some great comments, and we want to thank everybody for those comments. All right, let's take a look at the card. What are we doing tonight? Dead and Beautiful. Yes, it is streaming on Netflix beginning November with no E, no R. How did that happen? I don't know. November 4th, 2021. Director is David Verbeek or Verbeek. I bet it's Verbeek. What do you think? Writers David Verbeek and Hugh Travers. Oh my God. The cast, and here goes some more, is Gijs, Blom, Philip Juan, Anna Marchenko, Tsao, and Aviis, Zhong. I bet it's Zhong. I don't know.
Zhong.
Why do I even try? I don't know. But anyway, synopsis. A group of young and spoiled rich kids turn into vampires after a night out, changing the course of their lives and driving a wedge between them all, which sounds like a pretty interesting movie. Let's find out what we thought. Crystal, you are up first. What is your first impression of Dead and Beautiful?
Okay, so this is a tough one. Okay, so this movie is basically a big metaphor. The vampirism is a metaphor for, like these wealthy kids and their families and stuff. And sometimes that can work. And in this case, I found it to be a metaphor that's not very... It's obviously obvious here. And it's not told in such a way that made me feel... It didn't impact me in any way. I didn't dislike the movie. I think that it was kind of attractive. I liked the actors. I think the actors were fine and did a good job. There's multiple languages here, which kind of threw me off a bit and actually made it a little difficult in some instances. I mean, I know it's subtitled, so that's fine, but it's still just hearing the different kind of threw me off. I feel like some of the story is maybe a little lost in translation, actually, because what these kids do doesn't make all that much sense. You don't really know if it's this person's week, then why are all these other people doing things? And if it's this person's, why is everyone else involved? You don't completely understand, or I didn't completely understand how the other people were becoming involved in everyone else's weeks.
Yeah.
Right.
So to clarify that a little bit, the group of 5 rich spoiled brats each take a week where they go off on an adventure. Sometimes it's a straight up adventure where they go and taste crazy foods. Other times it's a trick where at the beginning of the film, one guy says he's dead and shows up at his own wake. So it could be anything. And and we follow into the next week, and it breaks its own rules.
Yeah, because it does become very muddled at a point. Especially the story becomes incredibly muddled, and I still can't quite figure out who was involved when and where and how. But basically, these kids do this to try to. They're kind of dead inside, right? They're dead inside, and they want to feel something. They're bored and they're dead inside, and they do this for fun. And so I do understand the concept of the movie, and I understand why they're doing what they're doing. But it just wasn't that much fun or exciting. It felt very long. And
For an hour and 38 minutes.
oh, that's all it was?
Yes.
Oh, wow. It felt longer than that. But like I said, there were some really nice shots and some beautiful locations, and I thought the acting was good. It just it didn't hit me. Like, I felt nothing for any of them.
Yep, that's a big problem. That's a huge problem.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff, sir, what was your first impression of Dead and Beautiful?
Yeah, it's a bit of an odd movie. So it's beautiful, and again, the acting, but it seems like they missed. Looking back through the storyline, they missed a lot of opportunities if they were really looking for being a horror movie or being creepy or atmospheric or whatever. They missed some spots, especially when they start off with the Anastasia's choice, and they go into the jungle, and then we just kind of we don't really see any of that. So I think that would have been really interesting. And in the end, it's kind of like what you said. It's beautiful. It kind of held my interest in that I stayed with it because I kept expecting something to happen. And then, it kind of does. But anyway, I don't know what else to say about it. It just was flat and lacking. I'm kind of like Crystal, I guess. I didn't care about the characters. They're not really fleshed out. They're pretty self-indulgent, rich kids. The things the little trips that they go on cost a lot of money. Are we taking your helicopter or your jet or, that kind of stuff. So, and that's okay. I don't hold that against them, but, I don't know. That there's so many opportunities and it just seemed like they're not taken. So I'm probably missing the whole point of it because I assume they had a point and they drove towards it, and I felt like they missed all kinds of things they could do to heighten the experience.
Yeah, I'm going to be a little more blunt about this. I agree with you. Cinematography, the acting, the locations, even the direction itself is actually quite good. The story, however, is horseshit. I did not like these characters. I did not like the position they're in. The story arcs they had weren't appealing. The resolution to the story was actually insulting. And then it insults on top of that at the very end even more. And then you just don't care about these kids. They're the you've got to be drawn into them in some manner. And, as a regular non-rich person, you can't relate to them. So they have to endear you in some way. There has to be something to feel for their plight, that you can relate to their being bored in some way. You can relate to Somebody realizing that the vision's being lost, right? And they're trying to go there, but it just doesn't have any ground. It has no roots at all, and then it beats you over the head for about an hour with this point about the teeth and the vampirism, and it's like something else better happen because it's obvious. Okay, let's go, let's move, let's keep going, do something. And it made it hard to watch. It made it boring. The only thing that really saved it was I actually liked the actors that were in the 5 main roles. I thought they were pretty good. But man, I just, there's this weird love triangle and I have felt nothing about it. And then they just become, then it gets worse, right? At the end, it gets worse. It goes from being bad to despicable, I think. And that's what I'm calling horseshit is, where the resolution of this was about as satisfying as a knee to the groin. Maybe some people like that, not me.
Well, I just think she's like, I just needed you guys to see who you are or whatever. And it's like, but they didn't feel like she was at all. Well, no. And I don't understand from her perspective how she's so self-righteous. I really did not like her at all, her character at all. I felt like she was very self-righteous. And it's like, what, like, cause you're any better than them, and here she is hulling on the dude that is doing all this Buddhist stuff or whatever, which, yeah, he's not great either, but she's like, well, maybe you shouldn't call yourself a Buddhist. Well, why would you do this to your friends anyway? You mutilated their bodies and you took that on yourself. That's
big spoilers,
BS.
Big spoilers.
Yeah, no, but that's some BS. And I appreciate that the one character, called it out. She's like, I will, we're spoilers. I will never forgive you for giving me fangs without my permission. Well, yeah, that's pretty effed up. That's mutilating their body. I mean, come on. Like, who does she think she is? And I mean, maybe she's the one that needs to take a look at herself.
They're entitled, right? So they're rich, entitled, and it's difficult to relate to them. So.
Yeah, she was like, oh, but I needed you guys to see who you are. Like, they're so bad, and she's better. She sees herself as better than them.
Yeah.
That's why when she got it turned around on her, she was so pissed. I think the girl that is the actress is amazing because at that part you could tell how even though she was just like, you could tell the anger just welling up inside of her. So the acting was great. It was just the whole idea of it that I was like, okay, I guess.
Yeah, it just rubbed me the wrong way from scene to scene. I don't like the characters, but I like I really would like to see these actors in other roles. Some more than others, I will bet, and I won't reveal who.
So y'all may not have liked him. It'll probably be the character I loved Ben Ray. I thought he's hilarious and so funny. The dude with the longer hair.
Oh yeah, the one that.
He's the fun guy.
I freaking love that guy though. Okay, I gotta tell you, one of the reasons I enjoyed it was partially him. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, the TED Talk thing, I was laughing. He's like, I did all this research. I don't know why that's so funny. I thought that was cute. So there's some moments.
There are, and there's some really well shot moments too. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the threads getting from that moment to moment is just annoying. I was really upset with this movie. This movie really made me angry.
I think that it didn't accomplish its goals because I really think that whatever it was that she wanted to accomplish was not accomplished. Like they didn't see who they were. They didn't. It's just super flat.
Yeah, I didn't get angry. I just got like, well, blah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I like the concept. I like the concept. They wake up, they have fangs. There's a dead body. They think they're vampires. How do they determine if they are or not? Right? There's nobody there to say you can or can't do this. So there is a little bit of this mystery there at first. Are they vampires? And I don't think that was. I think it was kind of. I don't think they explored that well enough, or played on that. And the entire film is that, but it just is like that one flat note, and it never really ramps it up effectively. I mean, there is a couple scenes that attempt to do that, and I think the closest one that does it is the scene on the rooftop. But
here's part of it. A lot of what we saw alone, and it shouldn't have been done. Like when the other dude is going up and he's like stalking that girl, the teller lady or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like that wasn't even real. Why did we see that?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
But
he already knew.
No, he could have been stalking her in terms of.
She was part of it. She was at the party. Oh, to act as the person.
Right. To enlist, or because if he thought that Lulu was following him or something.
I guess.
I don't know. I think it. Yeah, I see what you're.
But it's a.
I smell what you're cooking.
I feel like that's whoever wrote this doesn't know how to practice subterfuge, how to misdirect, because that's an improper misdirect. It's like they focused way too much time and attention on this, and it wasn't clear to me that that's what he had done or was doing. But I could buy Jeff's idea, but they needed to
it's not clear to us, and I don't think they were.
But I could buy that, like what you said. That makes sense to me. If I would just wish that had they done that, drop little clues that could lead you to actually thinking more like that. That's what The Sixth Sense does so well. They have these conversations, but then you realize it's all one-sided because you see it. Mm-hmm. And that's none of that was done. We needed to understand how they figured it out, how they understood this, how everything got flipped around. And when the reveal came, we saw the reveal and there was no explanation at all.
Right. It felt like a smack in the face.
Yes.
Really
and I think it's because that they didn't do it right. They didn't reveal it properly.
Mm-hmm.
I'll buy that.
Yeah. And I think had they done something like where they had shown, when it was kind of all this came together, I think that would have been way more exciting.
Yeah,
I would have been like, oh yeah.
The big clue I got for it and leaning that direction before it happened was, again, back on the roof when he goes back to the roof and then locks her inside while he goes up there by himself, and they're supposed to have a fight, and he comes back out, and that felt like a setup, right?
Okay.
That was the only time I felt it was leaning into the direction that they're taking it.
Okay. Sure.
But
it would have been what would have been better though is if when they did the reveal, they would have shown him locking her out and them getting the fake body ready to go.
Yeah,
I mean, there's things they could have done that when they did the reveal, all these little crumbs dropping, and that would have been brilliant. I think that would have actually made me go. I would have loved it. I think I would have been like, that's good. But they didn't. They're just like, oh, we knew, and now we got you. Ha! Yeah. Oh.
And then the whole thing on the beach. The whole, not the reveal in the cave. Or whatever,
right, I know what you mean.
Before
tacky.
And after.
It's so tacky.
Oh my God.
Yes,
it's like, you're a douche, to do that to someone. Yeah. And he's playing off of her sadness. To me, that's disgusting.
But then the whole final frame's really just like, oh my God, make up your fucking mind.
Yeah. It's true. I'm glad that we all felt this way, because I think that the movie is just, I think they had something in their head and it didn't quite translate, and they needed to explain a little bit more. And
Yeah, certainly lost on us gringos, right? So,
Yeah.
all right, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Let's get our final thoughts, our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. Crystal, you are up first.
Okay, so it's not awful. It's just not great. Like I said, there could have been some great moments had we seen that, like, getting the body ready to throw over. I could come up with a few more, but it's irrelevant. I'm gonna give it a 2.75 because it's pretty and it's acted well, and yeah, it's okay.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. My favorite scene is, oh my god, the security mirror at the 7-Eleven.
Oh my god, that was hilarious. That was hilarious.
I was like,
That
oh.
was
And then
good.
he's like, oh.
It was real done.
That was really funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll give him that. All right, Jeff, you're up next. Your final thoughts, your score and favorite scene.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this a 2.5,
Fair.
and out of 5, for kind of the same reasons that Crystal mentioned. It looks good, acting is good, but the story is didn't work for me. Wow, favorite scene.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought he froze for a second.
no, I was thinking. I was clicking my teeth. I'm going to take. We're picking on him. I'm going to take the Ben Ray jumping out of the cake,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
early on in the movie I had no idea that's what was coming. So we're introduced to this scene, and so that was an interesting thing, and watching how they all reacted. And
Now they're like, oh, he was new to money, so he just couldn't handle it.
right.
I'll take that problem.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, so I'll admit that early on I was in, okay, let's see where this goes. I want to see, how these characters are going to redeem themselves. So yeah, I have expressed throughout this past 20 minutes how this movie really insulted me, and I got angry with it. So you will not be surprised that my score is 1.5.
Oh shit!
I really don't like this movie. Now,
Holy moly!
I'm not saying anything bad about the talent, because I think there's a lot of talent behind this. It's just a story.
I get it.
It's just a story and what they were trying to achieve, and whether they were successful or not. And then, it just made me mad. So yeah, 1.5 is, I'm sorry, the best I can do. I'm not going to make any friends tonight, and that's fine. I'm going to live with that. So my favorite scene, I thought this was really good visual, and it really set your mind. If you were thinking one way, it undermined that. And that's when Alexander, after this party where he publicly reveals what he's doing, right, or what he may be. Although I suspect that was all set up. But anyway, and he's out in the middle of the street, and the cars are whizzing by, and Lulu's across the street looking at him, and then walks away. It's just, that shot was really cool because he was in focus and all the cars were blurry going by in front of him and behind him, and he looked menacing. And I was like, okay, let's get into this. Let's go ahead and make this a vampire movie. And
yep.
Had me for a hot second, damn you.
I will tell you, I didn't call this for sure at all. Like I typically I can usually figure that kind of stuff out, but the problem was the movie was made poorly, and that's why I didn't figure it out. Because if it's made right, there's always foreshadowing, there's always hints, there's always little droppings that I pick up. They're little breadcrumbs. This movie did not have them, and that's why it's not as successful.
Well, and I think that's intentional, and that's maybe why I liked it. I didn't like it that I was intentionally misled. It's not fair to the
Yeah.
viewer, I don't think.
Exactly. It's
If
supposed
there's nothing there to pick up on.
Exactly. That is exactly it. Didn't piss me off. Sometimes it can, but I get it. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
All right, well, there you go. Oh, go ahead.
No.
No, okay.
The
There you go.
no, now you gotta
Goodness,
say it.
Carter.
You gotta say it.
Go
You
ahead,
gotta say it,
Jeff.
Jeff.
The final frame that you mentioned is I'm sitting there going, is she going to do it? Is she going to do
yeah.
it? Is she going to do it? And then I guess not. Oh, yeah, she did. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know
That was
that.
it. That wasn't
I
my
know
reaction.
that
It
look.
wasn't-
I'll tell you that. I know that look. I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, at least she did it off beat to make it, so it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was on a upbeat or, you know what I'm saying. I'm expressing it poorly, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, that was our review for Dead and Beautiful. It is airing on Shudder. No, it isn't. It's airing on Netflix. Excuse me. So check it out.
Oopsies.
Whoops. It is airing on Netflix. Check it out and let us know what you think. Jeff, Crystal, thank you for joining me. This was a lot of fun, even though.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always fun talking.
I bet you people will like it. Just
Sure.
not as
Well,
not us.
Yeah, I mean, I can see people enjoying this. Yeah.
Watch it. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, if you did, I want to hear it. And we usually do if I give anything less than a 2, we hear about it. All right, guys, let's say good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.